Hey guys, it is John C. Morley here. You might have noticed that we did a second take today, and there was a reason for that. We're actually in the process of getting some new audio equipment, and one of the reasons we're doing that is because when you've had audio equipment for a while, sometimes challenges can arise, and also there's newer features and stuff like that. And also, the newer equipment plays better with a lot of the different streaming services. So that's why we're doing this again. This is John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. You are tuned into Inspirations for Your Life. It is March 31st. It's a wonderful Monday morning. Uh, and you know, the master topic, ladies and gentlemen, is creating new beginnings. And our granular topic is forgiveness and second chances matter. Series 4, Show 14, episode number 3. All right, guys. So if you are just joining us, you can always check out believemeachieve.com. Or if you've been with us for a while, there's lots of great content there. If you'd like to pop over the kitchen to get yourself something yummy, maybe it's something hot, something cold, something sweet, something tart, something healthy, or something not, doesn't really matter. I am your host, John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It is always such a privilege, a pleasure, and honor to be with you guys every time I go live and every time I create content, even if I'm not streaming live to you. This is the daily show that comes out every single day at various times, usually earlier in the day. And then we have our tech show on Friday, and I create lots of other content. So again, welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. It's great to have you here. And I want to let you know that life is full of unexpected challenges. And at some point, we all make mistakes, right? But what truly defines us is not our failures, but how we learn, we grow, and we move forward. Forgiveness and second chances are not just about letting go of the past, they're about creating a brighter future for ourselves and others. Now, when we open our hearts to healing, we release negativity and create room for the growth, love, and new opportunities. In today's episode, you're in for a real treat because I'm going to explore why forgiveness and second chances matter, how they shape our relationships, and how embracing them can lead to incredible transformations. Whether you're looking to mend a relationship, rebuild trust, or simply free yourself from the weight of resentment, this episode is for you. So sit back, everyone, open up your heart, and let's get ready to dive in so you can have the power of a fresh new start. All right, point number one, everyone makes mistakes. Growth comes from learning. No one is immune to making mistakes. It's part of the human experience. From small missteps to major life choices we regret, errors are unavoidable. But what truly matters is how we respond to them. Every mistake presents an opportunity to learn, improve, and evolve. Think about some of the most successful individuals. Many have faced failures before reaching greatness. The key is to embrace these moments as lessons rather than allowing them to define us. When we acknowledge our mistakes, okay, this is important. When we acknowledge our mistakes, we gain the insight into our weaknesses. And what we are able to do is look at them and make tweaks and changes to them. And so I think that's important. We see our strengths, we see our weaknesses, and we become wiser and we can make changes. So thus we become more resilient. Instead of fearing failure, which is just false evidence appearing real, we should welcome it as a stepping stone to personal growth and success. After all, it's not about many times just noticing that we fail. It's about the many times that we rise up again, right? You remember in Rocky, they said, when you get knocked down, it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up again and are ready to fight again. Number two, forgiveness frees you from resentment and negativity. It really does. Harboring resentment is like carrying a weight that drains your energy and holds you back. When you refuse to forgive, you chain yourself to past pain, allowing it to dictate your emotions and your interactions. And of course, how you show up in the world, and that's how people perceive you. But forgiveness isn't about excusing someone's actions. It's about freeing yourself from bitterness and hurt. Studies show that people who practice forgiveness experience lower stress levels, improve mental health, and stronger relationships, Letting go doesn't mean forgetting, it means choosing peace over pain. By forgiving, you actually reclaim your happiness, creating space for positivity, love, and personal growth. Imagine how much lighter life could feel if you just chose to release the burdens of resentment. A lot lighter. Why let these past wounds and these feelings of regret and, you know, let's say despair control your future when you have the power to heal? Number three, second chances allow people to prove they've changed. We've all made decisions we wish we could take back, but just as we want others to believe in our ability to change, we must extend the same grace toward them. Second chances offer people the opportunity to show that they have learned from their past and are committed to doing better. While not every second chance will lead to a perfect outcome, offering it can be life changing. Some of the most inspiring comeback stories happen because someone believed in another person's potential. Of course, second chances should be given with discernment, ensuring that true effort and changes are present. But when someone genuinely strives to be a better person, granting them another opportunity can lead to renewed trust, stronger relationships, and an unexpected growth. And it is the right thing to do, ladies and gentlemen. Number four, holding grudges weighs you down more than the other person. When you hold on to a grudge, you might think you're punishing the other person who wronged you. But in reality, you're only punishing yourself. Resentment is like a poison that seeps into your mind, clouding your judgment and stealing your peace, your freedom, your inner sanctuary. The person you're upset with may have moved on, but you remain trapped in the past, reliving the pain over and over again. Letting go of grudges isn't about weaknesses, it's about strength. It's choosing to prioritize your emotional well being over anger. Imagine how freeing it would feel to release the bitterness and make room for new positive experiences. Forgiveness is not about conditioning what happened, but about reclaiming your happiness. Why let someone else's actions have the power over you to disturb your peace and rob you from your freedom and your inner grace and sanctuary? Number five, compassion fosters stronger relationships and understanding. We've said that empathy starts with us putting ourselves in the other person's shoes so we can actually understand what they're going through. Compassion goes a step deeper, where we're willing to take an action for that person, maybe help them with something, maybe coach them, maybe listen. But it requires you to take that extra step. Or maybe you get them to take a step. But some people that you meet are not willing to be compassionate, but they're willing to be empathetic. Like at work, for example, they don't want to get all up in your personal life just because they don't really care. Compassion is a bridge that connects people, allowing us to see the humanity in each other. When we take a moment to understand someone else's perspective, we create deeper and more meaningful relationships. Often people act out of pain, fear, or circumstances we may not fully grasp. Instead of rejecting with judgment, what if we responded with empathy? A kind word, a listening ear, or even a second chance can make a world of difference in someone's life. So empathy is listening, okay? Compassion is when you're taking more of an active stance in their life, more than just listening. It's something where you might do something for them, you may offer advice, or you may try to get them to take a certain step. Okay. So I think that's a very, very important thing. Again, like I said, instead of reacting with judgment, what if we just respond with empathy? Don't expect to be compassionate because that might be too much and more than you want to put out. A kind word, a listening ear, or even a second chance can make a world of difference in someone's life. Compassion doesn't mean tolerating harmful behavior. No, it does not. It does mean acknowledging that everyone is fighting battles we may not see. By choosing kindness, we foster stronger connections, heal wounds, and create a more supportive world. Number six, redemption stories inspire hope. Some of the most powerful people have inspiring stories. And it is these stories of redemption of people who fell but found a way to rise again, like many of the great inventors of our time, whether it's someone overcoming addiction, rebuilding their career after failure, or mending broken relationships. These stories remind us that transformation is possible. They give us hope that no matter how bad things seem, there's always a way forward. Many well-known figures, from celebrities to entrepreneurs, have experienced setbacks before achieving the greatness that they now have today. These journeys prove that failure doesn't define us. What we do after failure does. So we're all going to get different types of cards, sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes mediocre. It's not the cards we get or the situation or circumstance we have. It's how we choose to respond to that circumstance or situation that determines our character, which also directly relates on the actions we take and thus what other people see and the perceptions they form of us. When we hear stories of redemption, we are reminded that we too have the power to change our own narrative immediately, right now. Number seven, trust can be rebuilt with time and effort. Trust is one of the most fragile yet essential elements of any relationship. It takes years to build, but it can be broken, ladies and gentlemen, in the fraction of a second. When trust is damaged, it can feel impossible to repair, but it isn't. Rebuilding trust requires honesty, patience, and consistency. It's about showing, not just saying, that things will be different. Small daily actions over time create basically a foundation for restored confidence. Whether it's a friendship, romantic relationship, or professional partnership, healing trust takes work from both sides. Well, it may not happen overnight, or even in a week, or maybe in a month. Okay? Those who are truly committed to making these things right can rebuild them. Okay? And make them even stronger than they ever were before. Number eight, forgiving doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing peace. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing peace. A common misconception about forgiveness is that it erases the past. But true forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means acknowledging what happened while refusing to let it control your future. It's about choosing peace over pain. You can remember the lesson without holding on to the hurt. By setting boundaries and learning from the experience, you empower yourself to move forward to a healthier way, a better life. Forgiveness is not about erasing history. It's about deciding how much power the history will have over you. Let me say that again. Forgiveness is not about erasing history. It's about deciding how much power, okay, how much power the history will have over you. Instead of being held hostage by the past wounds, choose freedom, choose peace, choose healing, and most importantly, choose freedom. And that is all choices that are up to you. Number nine, everyone deserves the opportunity to improve and move forward. No one is beyond redemption. Everyone has the ability to change, grow, and become a better version of themselves. It's easy to judge people by their past, but when we give others and ourselves the space to improve, we create a culture of growth rather than of condemnation. Life is about progress, not perfection. Every day presents a new change, a new challenge, so that we can become a little wiser, kinder, and stronger. When we recognize this truth, we stop defining people by their worst moments and start seeing their potential instead. Try that. I think you'll be amazed by it. Number 10, second chances can lead to unexpected success and impactful results. Some of the greatest achievements in history were made possible because someone was given a second chance. Whether it was an athlete who made a comeback, an entrepreneur who rebuilt a business, or a person who turned their life around. Second chances have the power to unlock incredible potential. We never know what someone is capable of until they're given the opportunity to try again. By believing in others and allowing room for growth, we create a world where transformation and success are not just probable, they're extremely possible. Now, what I want to do is I want to share some personal stories with you over these points because I think that's really going to help drive them home. All right. I think that's going to drive them home. And so maybe when we think about this and we think about the fact that these are real life stories, they might sink in more. A friend of mine named Chris wanted to start a company. He poured all his savings into his first business venture, confident that his idea would take off. But within a year, this construction company that he started collapsed due to financial mismanagement and a lack of strategic planning. Chris was devastated. He had not only lost his money, but he also felt like a complete failure. Instead of giving up, he took a step back and analyzed, hey, where did I go wrong? He enrolled in some business courses, sought advice from mentors, and started working under a successful entrepreneur to learn the ropes of construction and business. When he tried again a few years later, his second business flourished. Today, he runs a multi-million-dollar company helping startups avoid the same mistakes he made that want to go into the construction industry around the world. Chris often says failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of it, and we've said that before. His history is a powerful reminder that mistakes aren't the end, they're just stepping stones to something much greater. Number 2, forgiveness frees you from resentment and negativity. I once had a close friend, I'll call him Alex. He betrayed my trust by sharing something so deeply personal that I had told him in confidence. When I found out, I felt humiliated and was hurt. I immediately cut him out of my life, convinced that I would never forgive him. But over the years, I noticed something. I was still carrying that anger and that grudge inside me. And every time his name came up, I felt this wave of resentment. My blood wanted to boil. Every muscle in my body just tightened, and it would ruin the mood. One day, I read about how holding onto grudges affect us mentally and physically. And that struck a chord with me because I noticed I was holding on to my anger with him. I wasn't only punishing myself, but I was really starting to miss opportunities in life because I was so focused on this anger. I decided to reach out to Alex. We met for coffee at a local shop, and he sincerely apologized, admitting how much he regretted the action that he took. And though I didn't really restore the friendship to what it once was, forgiving him lifted a huge weight off my shoulders. That moment taught me that forgiveness isn't about letting the other person off the hook. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of entrapment. Now, when I hear his name, Alex, it's just like another name and just like somebody that I know. And that emotional tie is not there, which made me feel so terrible. Number 3, second chances. They allow people to prove they've changed. There was a guy in my high school. All right, I'll call him Tony. He had a reputation for being a troublemaker. He got into fights, skipped classes, smoked. He even got suspended for vandalism. No one thought he would amount to much, but after graduation, something changed. Tony realized he was heading down the wrong path and wanted to turn his life around. He reached out to one of our old teachers, Mr. Johnson, and asked for a second chance. Mr. Johnson agreed to mentor him, giving him advice and encouraging him to apply to a community college. It wasn't easy. Tony had to work harder than most students to prove himself, but he did it. He finished college, went on to get a degree in criminal justice, and eventually became a youth mentor, helping kids who were just like him. Today, Tony's making a real difference in the world because someone believed he was capable of change. Is there someone in your life that you're not giving a second chance to? Think about it. Not only will you feel better, but you might just change that person's life. Number four, holding grudges weighs you down more than the other person. My relative's best friend had a falling out over a business deal that had gone wrong. They had been inseparable since childhood, but after disagreement, they didn't speak for nearly 15 years. My relative always claimed he was fine with it, but every time the topic came up, you could hear the bitterness in his voice. Then, one day, he heard that his old friend had been diagnosed with cancer. It hit him hard. He realized that all those years of anger had stolen precious time they could have spent together. He decided to visit him in the hospital. And as soon as they saw each other, the years of resentment just melted away like butter on a hot pan. They both admitted how much they had missed each other and regretted letting their pride keep them apart. Unfortunately, his friend passed away a few months later. But my relative was grateful that he had chosen forgiveness before it was too late. That experience taught him and me that grudges don't hurt the other person nearly as much as they'll hurt us ourselves. Letting go brings peace, while holding on to anger only causes pain. And I want to share another personal story, really personal. Probably over here, maybe 8 to 10 years ago, there was a good friend of mine. And this friend of mine, well, we weren't friends at first. He was a neighbor that had moved in, maybe a year after I had moved into my community. And we went to an HOA meeting. And I figured, well, this is great. He's at the table. Maybe I'll get a chance to meet him and get to talk to him. And we were all already in agreement, several people around the table, because the HOA was doing some things that we didn't like with our money. And so we were already in agreement that they shouldn't do something and do something else. So that was great. At the end of the meeting, my friend, who I'm just going to call Michael, that wasn't his name. And I said, Michael, I said, I know you just moved in. I've been here a year, and I love pool, and I was just looking for someone to play pool with. I don't know if you'd be interested. He said, yeah, I'll play pool with you. He's like, I'll give you my number. So he said, you can text me, but don't ever call me. I was like, all right. So we started chatting, and I was walking out, and I said, where did you park, Mike? He goes, what are you, an idiot? I parked right next to you. So it's like he was hoping that he was going to bump into me. And long story short, he asked me where I lived, and I told him. He says, oh, yeah. He says, you're in the same place as me, in the same building. I said, yeah. And I said, oh, yeah, I know you. You're the guy that always knocks me over every morning because you can't get up early enough for work. He didn't say anything. We got together within a week. We played some pool. We hung out once or twice a week. Sometimes we even went off of our residential campus to go bowling. In fact, one time he actually helped me get bowling shoes. He said, John, if we're going to go out and bowl together, he's like, I don't want you getting ripped off. It's bad enough you didn't buy yourself a new bowling ball. You still have your old one. Eventually, we'll have to get you a new one. But at least you got to get new sneakers. You can't be paying for rentals every time we go out. So we went to the store there, and I was ready to buy whatever was there. And so I go to look at the bowling shoes, and my friend's like, what's the best price you can get for us? And he's like, that's not the question you should be asking me. The question you should be asking me is, do I have your friend's size in stock? So he brings the shoes out. He says, I can get these online for blah, blah, blah. And I was like, being a little rude. And I was like, Okay. And we're about to do the deal. The deal came at whatever number. I think it was like under $100. And he said, "Oh, I can get these shoes for $79." So he's haggling with the guy. He's like, "Well, we're not buying him if it's not at least within $5 of that." So we matched the price. Um, and he was so kind, he even helped me put the shoes on. We became great friends. And then suddenly our friendship ended within 6 months. Don't know why. And he started making me out to be a bad guy to all these other people when I was just a nice person. And I remember him even starting to do things like lie and call the police. And he would just fabricate stories. Eventually, this turned into a legal battle between us. Then I had to countersue him, which he was really angry about. His family even got drawn into it. And I really wasn't looking to win. I was just looking to get mutual of our cases dropped. And that's what happened. When the case was all resolved, I remember shaking his father's hand and saying, "I apologize." He says, "No, John." He says, "You're not the one that should be apologizing. If my son ever does something like this ever again, so help me, to anyone just like you that's innocent, I'll disown him." Now, maybe he didn't mean that, but he was very angry at his son. And to this day, when I hear his name, I have forgiven him. But there's a little part of me that just wishes we could get together for, I don't know, one more bowl or one meet at the coffee shop or for a slice of pizza and just, I don't know, hear what he might have to say. Maybe he'll apologize. Maybe he won't. I don't know. But I've forgiven him. I've offered up to prayer. And I guess I just hope that one day, maybe, that I might get to meet with him. I know I've seen him on the highway, and when I've seen him, he goes past me 150 miles an hour just when he sees me, which was like the last time was 5 years ago. Compassion, ladies and gentlemen, fosters stronger relationships. If you're not ready to show compassion, it's okay. Show empathy. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. Compassion requires more of a commitment where you've got to be more vulnerable. And maybe you're not ready for that. And that's perfectly okay. But just remember, ladies and gentlemen, be empathetic to people. And if you can show empathy or you can help them with the next step by either coaching them or whatever it is, do it. You'll be happy and the other person will be happy. When we show empathy, the world shines. When we're compassionate, it rejoices. Have yourself a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys on another show real soon. Check out BelieveMeAchieve.com.